everyone, I'm Ebony and welcome to my channel. This is a channel about cross stitch. Today is Flosstube number 13 and I have so much to show you. We have cross stitch, we have crochet, we have quilts and we have talks of knitting. So I'll do all the cross stitch first and then we'll get into all the other stuff. Yes, so I've been quite busy. So we're going to get straight into it. The first thing I do want to say is that anything that is on gridded fabric is on 25 count, 1/1 full cross, easy guide, Lugana from Zweigart, because I always forget that. And then if there is anything that is not on that, I will try and remember what it is. So yeah, we're going to get straight into it. So this video is not too long. So the first thing I worked on was water nymph. Here is what it looks like when it is complete. This one is my largest piece and I made the goal on my last video to try and get all my pieces to 5%. So a lot of them are already at 5% or over, and then so I'm working on the rest of them. So that is what we're doing. So water nymph got, oh, and there was one little change. I was going to wait until December to kind of get the 5% goal. I've decided to just get them as and when I'm working on them, just so there's less pressure in December. It's already a busy month and I don't want the extra pressure. So water nymph got 1,397 stitches, bringing it to 4.78%. So this will be coming out this week to get it to 5%. It needs 946 stitches. And here is where we are. Again, I apologise for the light. So you should be seeing where it was last time. And I finished this page at the bottom, finished this one up. And then I will probably work on this one next. I think what I'm going to do with this one long term, is do the 2 pages all the way across. And I think in that, the page that I'm going to work on next, we'll start to see some water, but that's about it. Yeah, nothing really to see on this one. So 946 stitches to go to get to my end of year goal. So that's exciting. And that one goes really quickly because it's a lot of 823, 939. So there is that. The next one I worked on was a non-full coverage. This is Sugar Plum Village. Here is what it looks like when it's finished. And if I can find a picture from before, I will put it in, but I'm not sure whether I have that. But here is where we are now. And I know what I did anyway, so a before picture is not too necessary. So I brought this border along here. I carried on with these roofs and went all the way across. I finished the blue in this house, I'd already started that. And then I completed the white all the way through to this house and brought that along. I started in the pink in that house and added the greens and the reds that are within the house. So yeah, that got it didn't take that long, but it's come along quite a way, I think. This is on 40 count linen from Fox and Rabbit. I do have the tag for what colour this is, so I'll pop up the colour name on screen. And it's just on the bit that, this is obviously I cut the fabric for this piece and the label's on the other side and I always forget to go and look what it's called. But yes, super pretty. So I do, when I get this finished for within next year, so by the end of the year next year, so we should be seeing this quite a bit. I won't be dedicating all my time to this, but as you can see, I think I put like a day or so into this and got quite a bit done. So hopefully that will be a fast moving one. And yeah, I want to get it finished just so we can, you know, rotate through other non-full coverage that I have kitted, but I'm not starting until this one's done. So if I don't, you know, get this finished, then it's just going to be lingering. So, oh, and I'm using my own colours for that one. So if you want to know those, then just let me know. Or I can add it into the spreadsheet. I have a spreadsheet that is always linked down below with my current widths in. And I have a little space for notes, so I might put it in there and then it's available whether you're interested or not. The next one was a new start. So exciting. It is Castle. It is by Eda Jose Rosa and it's charted by Stitches So Beautiful. So here's what it looks like when it's finished. There is a couple of us stitching this. The ones that I know of are Chrissa from Chrissa's Crafted Creations on Instagram. I'll link her below. And Leann from Small Town Stitches. I'll link her channel below. And yeah, we've been waiting for the start. So I was really, really happy to get going on it. And I also use this, so Stitches So Beautiful do either a monthly challenge or every other month. I think it depends how busy she is. But this month's challenge, the chart is amazing. I'll actually put it up. Oh my God, I need that chart. So usually for the challenges, I use A Beautiful Place. But since I was starting this anyway and A Beautiful Place has got to 5%, I have used this. So this will get to 5% by doing the challenge. So 5% for this piece is 8,000 stitches. And I plan to do 2,000 stitches a week for the 4 weeks of the challenge to get to the 5%. So there is no before picture, but this is where I got to. This went really fast. I got this done in one day and then a couple of hours in the morning last week. And yeah, it just went so fast. So, and there is, the colours in this surprised me because I just thought for the top left corner it would just be like black. There is, I don't think there is any black in here. There might be, but I don't think there is. But there's a lot of like 502, and when I was stitching it, I couldn't really see a difference because when you have like your bright light over it, it kind of washes out all the colours. But yeah, you can see it now that there is some lovely shading in there. So I think we're gonna work across the top, top row of pages. And within the top row of pages, I think we get to one of the rooftops of like, are they called turrets? I don't know. But you know what I mean. So that one got 2,022 stitches. And that brought me to 1.26%, and it needs 5,978 to get to the 5%. But as I said, I'll be doing 2,000 a week to get that. Let me just have some coffee. This is my first coffee today. My husband's just took my son to school, and then he's going to do some shopping. So, yeah, I'm filming. The next one is Stained Glass Orca. This is charted by Sharova Creations on Etsy, and I was using this as my bedtime stitch. My bedtime stitch has now not the plans, what is it? Anyway, I'm not doing that anymore. But we'll get to that when we get to other crafts. But I'm happy with what I got done on this. So I was just using this just like a strand at night each day. And I managed to get a total of 1,026 stitches, which brought this to 8.36%. And that percentage did weigh on my decision because I am trying to focus on getting to 5%, and knowing I was putting progress in something that was way over 5% kind of made me less motivated to work on it, because it didn't have a goal. So it was bonus stitching, but something else has come along to take my attention away. But I'm happy that it got an extra 1,000 or so stitches, and here is where I got to. So I'm not sure where I'll be able to fit in a picture. If I bring it out, then there should be enough room. But I worked on this side over here, and I believe I filled all this in. I brought this down, I did a couple of these lines, and maybe worked up in here, but yeah. This one obviously really easy to get to 100 stitches in an evening. Just pick up a strand. I think from a strand I got like 70 stitches ish, depending on if it was filling or not. And I would start off the next strand, and if I wasn't too tired to finish it off, then I would finish it off, but if not, I just left it parked for the next day. And yeah, it was nice. It was nice. That will definitely be in my mind for travel stitching or a future bedtime stitch if that ever comes back. But I enjoyed it while it lasted. So there is that one. The next one is Painted Tiger. This is from an Etsy shop called Mummy's Hobbies Designs, and this chart is no longer available, but I have found her Etsy shop again after going back in my orders. And if you're desperate for this piece, because there is a couple of people who asked me how they could find it, I would give her a message. There's always the chance that she has the file, but I think with Etsy you get charged per listing, so maybe that was a factor. Maybe she still has it and you can get it, it's just not listed. So this one was a guilt piece, because it is not at its 5%, so it was going to come out again. But my son asked me, why are you not working on my tiger? So I said, well, because I've just not really got around to it yet. And he said, but do you not think you should? And I was like, okay, I will. So I decided to make this a daily 100. And I said to him, I'll work on this a little bit each day. In the morning, if I have time, or then when I get home from work, I'll put in a little bit. And he said, well, if you work on it twice a day, then it'll be done twice as fast. Which I can't argue with, but there is no way I'm working on this twice a day. So it is a daily 100, and that is quite enough for now. And it will come out through the year for a full rotation, but for now it will get its daily 100. So that's what I've been doing, and so far it's got 680 stitches. So obviously it's not a round 100. Sometimes I get a little bit less, sometimes I get a little bit more. I'm not too, as long as it gets work every day, I'm not putting too much pressure on it. And this one is now at 2.69%, and this is where I got to. So there is no before picture, because the before picture is of this side. I've moved up to the corner and decided to fill in. Because it's a daily 100, I find it easier to work in my normal method, I guess. But there's quite a few colours in there actually. It's already had 100 this morning when I woke up. And this piece I have cropped. So because it is going to be for my son, and it's not going to just go in a box, and he's going to want it framing pretty much straight after it is finished, I decided to crop it so it would fit into a standard frame. So I'm just going to show you how much I've cropped off. So before I do show you, I'll tell you the stats. So it is, with the cropping, it has taken it to 21,220 stitched in out of the total amount, and that brings it to 18.47%. And I'll show you, it's just some off the side and some off the bottom, so nothing out of the main piece. Oh, sorry for that glare. So it is taking out this section and this section. It is now centered the tiger a little bit more, and this is all just background, so I don't feel like I'm missing anything. And it will get done a little bit quicker. But the reason for cropping was for framing purposes. And there is a couple of other pieces that I've cropped, but I've not worked on them. So as I work on them, I'll show you these two. So that now needs 2,222 stitches to get to 5%. And they're the stats for the new size, the crop size. The last stitch I want to show you that got the most progress, if you follow me on Instagram, you would have seen this. I worked pretty much monogamously on this piece. As you can see, I've had other pieces come in and out for a day or two, but I've really enjoyed just stitching on one piece until it met its goal. So I spun the wheel of all the whips that needed to get to 5%, and this one came up, which I was really happy about, because I have a feeling that if this didn't come up, I probably would have stitched it anyway, which makes the wheel a bit redundant, but luckily it came up with a piece I wanted to stitch on. This one needed a huge amount of stitches to get to 5%, and I got them done. So let me unfold it. It's Dreams. I See You in My Dreams. I'll pop up a picture. And it is artwork by Genovia Art, and it is charted by Heaven and Earth Designs. This piece is one of the large ones, and it needed 9,668 stitches to get to its 5%, and I got it done. So I put in that amount of stitches, and it is now at 5%. Oh, I'm so happy with this one. That was a lot of stitches, nearly 10,000 stitches. But as I said, I just worked on this one monogamously. Well, semi-monogamously. So that's the first page done. The second page, I just put a couple of thousand in before I started this rotation on it, and I managed to get all that page done. Then I was going to stop, and then I thought, do you know what, I'm enjoying it, let me just carry on stitching on it. So then I started on this page over here. This page had quite a lot of confetti, so I decided to pick a symbol from the top and just colour complete it all the way down. So you probably can't see, but that has got so many colours in. Like, especially in these bits here. Oh my god. When I say confetti, I mean like, not ninja stitches, but if you highlight a symbol, it's literally like scattered everywhere. So, I'll bring you in. So it would appear up here, and then it would be like dotted, 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 all the way down. So, it has led me to fill all this in, which I believe are flowers. And then these are quite blocky areas with background colours, these like burgundy colours, and I believe this is a blocky area as well. But this won't come out now till next year, which I'm quite sad about. This is one of my largest pieces, but honestly, I could stitch on this every single day. I just love it. And it is looking incredible. So yeah. 5%, and it's about 2.5 pages. Long way to go on that one, but I love it. And on the next page after that, if I finish that one next year and go into the next page, we start her head, and you get her hair and a portion of her face. So that'll be really motivating to pull out next year to get her face in. Talking of next year, I'm umming and ahhing with plans and so on. So I'm flip-flopping between having plans and having minimal plans. I'm heading towards the minimal plans just because I don't think I want the pressure. So when I do my whip parade, which I'll do in December, if it's minimal plans, I will just kind of tag along. Like if I pull up a whip, this is a focus piece, and then that's it. If there is anything more extensive than that, I'll make a separate video. But if you don't see a separate video, it means I've gone for minimal plans. So that is all the cross stitching. My plans cross stitching wise going forward will be 100 stitches a day on the tiger, the painted tiger, and carry on working through my 5%. So if you don't want to see any crochet or quilting, then thank you so much for joining me, and I hope to see you next time for some more stitching updates. But if you do want to see some other bits, then yes, stick around. So after my video with my finishes, obviously I talked about quilting quite a lot because my earlier stitches were very much connected to my quilting hobby. So yeah, and after talking about it a lot, I got quite a few comments asking to see some of my quilting finishes. So most of them I made to give away because that was my purpose for making them, was to gift them. I have three fully finished ones, a bag, and one quilt top to show you. So I'll show you those, and then we'll get into crochet. Crochet is, they're not finishes that I want to talk about. It is a current work in progress. So, oh, sorry, that's going cold really fast. So the first, let me move this out of the way. A little sneak peek of my crochet. The first one I want to show you is our picnic blanket. So this is one that we use in the summer. I'm not going to unfold it because this is the biggest one, but I have unfolded it enough for you to see. So this is our picnic blanket. Oh god, it weighs a ton. It is Dresden plates. It is humongous. I think it's like 68 by 68 inches. So I did these Dresden plates. This is using Sunday Stroll fabric by Bonnie and Camille, I believe, if you're into your fabrics, from Moda, and some scraps mixed in as well. So yeah, I made the Dresden plates and then I appliqued them onto, I think these are 18 inch, they might not be. That is just a figure I've seemed to think I remember, but it could be wrong. Onto just a white piece of fabric, and I then, yeah, I appliqued them down. I added these centers and appliqued them, and yeah, they've got little cornerstones in between each one. I think this is 3 Dresden plates by 3, so as you can see, oh, they're all scrappy with different centers. Oh, that hurt my arm. And then the back is this. This needs rebinding, so I've took the binding is scrappy binding, so it's just all the leftovers, and I needed to do a repair, so I've taken it all off. So that's why it's all like, I've taken it all off, I've made the repair, it just needs stitching back down, but I have time because we use this maybe a couple of times a year when we go for a picnic. And where did I put it? Let me just, there it is. Because it is a picnic blanket, I decided to make a picnic bag to go with it. So this is using the same fabrics and some scraps that I had. Well, not scraps, but just other pieces of fabric that matched. So this is our picnic bag. This is a deep pocket here. It is quite large. Oh, this is difficult to show. So it's just fully lined. It's got a couple of pockets inside. And then my favourite part of this bag is that on the back, I put these elastic things. So when we're packing up or we're going, we roll the quilt up and we put it through there. And then you still have the inside of the bag to put all the picnic food in and drinks. So, yeah, because with a picnic bag, a lot of the time the bag's full of picnic blanket and then you need separate bags for food and stuff. But this way we can put that on the outside. It does obviously mean it gets quite heavy, but that's fine. So yeah, this was really fun to make. This bag pattern I got from Shabby Fabrics. They have a video tutorial. I don't even think I bought a pattern. I think the video is the pattern. So if you go to Shabby Fabrics video YouTube channel, you will find lots of really good tutorials on there. So that's our picnic bag and our picnic blanket, which I'm going to throw on the floor because it's so heavy. The next blanket is a hunter's, well, I say blanket, it's a quilt. And if any quilters heard me saying blanket, is a hunter's star. And this pattern is from Fat Quarter Shop. And I used the ombre fabric that their pattern was used with ombre fabric, and I really liked it. So this is like cornerstones and half square triangles, and it makes, so this is one block here, this is another block here, and when you put them together you get the star as a secondary pattern. So this is like a lap size, so not as big as the picnic one, and then it just has a border with some thread that shouldn't be there. Just has a white border, just because I didn't want the binding up against it. And then the binding is orange, and then the backing is pink. So yes, there is that one. This one was really fun to make, and yeah. And the next one, this is the last finished one that I have, and this was one of my first ones that I made, and this is my favourite fabric. So this is, I think it's called Swan Dive, the pattern, from Fat Quarter Shop as well. And this fabric is from Sherry and Chelsea for Moda Fabrics, and it is called Balboa. And I just love the mix of muted and brights. I just think it's beautiful. So this is all one fabric line, and the block, let me open this up, this is quite large. I do use this one in the summer when it's too hot for a quilt, like a proper quilt, a duvet. I use this because it's not as thick. So the block is, jeez, I don't even know what the block is. I think the block is this. So these are all flying geese. These are half square triangles. And yeah, it's quite large. This is the second largest one. I did cross hatch quilting on all of these, I think, apart from the Dresden, on the other two. The quilting and the basting is my least favourite part, and that is the main reason why I stopped. The binding is from the fabric line. The backing is also from the fabric line. And I had lots of leftover half square triangles, so I made a piece backing with all the leftovers. Are these half square triangles? No, the flying geese. So all the leftover flying geese got put as a stripe along there. Oh, this hurts your arm showing these. These are heavy. And then the last one is the last one is a quilt top, which has not been quilted. So this one is using Primitive Gatherings Urban Farmhouse 2, I think, fabric line from Moda. And this is really difficult. It's not as easy to show as cross stitch. That is this one. So as you can see, it's not been quilted, it's just the top. If you're curious to see what a quilt back looks like, this is what it looks like. So I do like to press open, especially when there is a lot of pieces like in this one. And I love this, love. Oh my God, this one needs to be finished. And that's why I've kept hold of it, because I do want to finish it. I have the backing ready and pieced, and it's cut to size, it's ready to go, and I also have the binding fabric ready, just needs cutting into strips and sewing on. But like I said, I kind of fell out of love with the process of basting and quilting. My favourite bit is doing the piecing of the quilt top, and it's expensive to send it to a long armour. Let me get this out of the way. And then since then, that is more of like a quilt I would have out in Christmas time or winter. So I'm thinking I want a fleece backing, which would be even more difficult to quilt. So, but it would be so cozy to have that on the sofa. So I'm undecided whether to do a fleece backing or to use the piece backing I've already got. So they're my quote finishes. I have made quite a few more, but given them away to family members. So these are the ones that I kept. And then I wanted to talk to you about crochet. So crochet, I've made I've fully finished 2 blankets, and I'm on my 3rd one. So the first one I did was a granny square blanket, and I don't have a picture of the full blanket, but I'll put up a picture from my Instagram of when I was like in process. And then the second blanket I made was a striped blanket from my sister, which was, oh, it was so boring. It was in just black and white stripes. That was horrible. But I made that. And then now my son asked for one, so I started this, I think late last year, and it has kind of been left. So this is, it's a little bit wavy, and I don't know if that's a tension thing or whether I've like missed stitches or whatever. But this is Henry's baby blanket from Leann and Shy, and I'll link it down below. And the bottom is like a ribbed border, and there's only a border on the top and bottom, there is none on the sides. And then it alternates between, I think it's the half herringbone, it's a herringbone stitch, I can't remember what it's called. It might be a double, I can't remember, I'm not going to try and remember. But that's the herringbone stitch. So it's like dense and not very holy. And then I'll show you on a different colour, because you can't really see it on the navy. And then this one is just, I don't know what this stitch is called, but it is a single crochet, a double crochet. No, a single crochet, a half double crochet, skip, and then repeat across the row. So I've got quite a bit done, and I have been pulling this out recently because I fell down a rabbit hole. Well, I've not fell down it yet, but I'm like, my head and my upper body are in the rabbit hole. So what happened was Chrissa is really good at crochet and she can knit, and if you check out her Instagram you'll see amazing crochet dolls and stuff like that. So she's very talented, and she sent me a cardigan, and it was granny squares and the sleeves were knitted, and I really, oh my god, I need it. I will put up a picture, and I really want to make it. And I can crochet granny squares, but I can't knit. So, well, I can knit, but I'm not good at it, and I'm not skilled enough to be able to do something like that. So I said to her, well, I've got a crochet blanket on the go, so I'll carry on working on that and try and get that done, because I don't want to kind of leave this and then just squirrel off to something else. So I've been working on this each evening, a few rows as my bedtime stitch, and basically in preparation for that new start. And because I can't knit, I've decided that I need to learn how to knit so I can have that cardigan. So I had some yarn that I got as a free gift. Well, it wasn't a free gift, it was like, you know, when you collect points, and then it was on Hobby website, I think, which is in maybe the Netherlands or Norway. And you collect loyalty points and then you can spend it in the shop, but the loyalty shop. And I picked sock yarn, and I've never known, like, I've just always kept it, never did anything with it. So then when this came up, I was like, well, I've already got the yarn, let me go and get some needles. So I went to Hobbycraft and I got some knitting needles, and they only had the wooden ones in the size that I needed, and they were horrible. Oh my god. So I spent like half a day casting on, and they were horrible. So I give up with that. So I've ordered a different yarn, because I'm not too keen on the yarn that I got for free. It's just not, no. So I've ordered some yarn and some needles, the Knit Pro ones. So Chrissa is gonna help me knit my first pair of socks. And if I'm honest, if I was ever going to make anything, it would be, my first choice would be knitted socks. I am a cold person, and I have so many pairs of like fuzzy socks, thick socks. I wear them constantly, especially as soon as I get home, that's it. My slippers, I wear like the slippers that are like Ugg boots, and I've got the thickest socks on, so I have to get like 2 sizes bigger slippers than what I need, because my feet are just freezing all the time. So yeah, if I could make anything clothing wise, it would be socks. So I'm so excited to start those. And obviously I'm nervous, because knitting is just something I find it so complicated. So hopefully I can get my head around that. And yeah, I'm so excited. But I mean, I only started crafting in 2020. I was never a crafty person before that. I never had a hobby. And then 2020 hit, and like a lot of people, I picked up a hobby, which was quilting. And then crochet. When did crochet come in? I think it was after cross stitch, but before I was like obsessed with cross stitch. So yeah, and now knitting's coming in. But I mean, I've picked the other crafts up, so I'm hoping that I can pick knitting up, but I'm so intimidated by it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. I'm going to bring you along on my knitting socks journey, and then hopefully by the time I finish some socks, I can try and start that cardigan. I mean, I can start with the crochet, but I'm not going to even entertain starting that because I just know I can't finish it at the minute. But yeah, if you're interested, well, I'm going to show you anyway, because I'm going to be so excited when I start a pair of socks. So oh my god, I'm so excited. So I ordered my yarn and knitting needles from Wool Warehouse in the UK, and they got dispatched this morning, so hopefully they'll be here soon so I can get started. But in the meantime, I've got plenty to keep me busy. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of my other crafts, and if you are interested, I will show updates on what I'm currently doing, because yeah, I know a lot of us have different crafts going on, and yeah, I still need to decide what to do with this quilt, so we'll figure that out. But I think that is everything. I've got quilts bundled up on the floor, I've got cross stitch at my feet here, and crochets, like the ball of yarn is just thrown across. Talking of the yarn, this is just the mega balls from Hobby, and I think it's Aran. I think it's all acrylic, I'm not sure. But yeah, these balls are huge. So I've been using this for ages and it's not got any smaller. And I'm gonna have loads left over because I bought 2 of each colour and I don't even think I'm gonna get through one. So I might have to do, he was asking, well, there is a matching pillow, like cushion cover set for the blanket, so I might do them, but then I'm still gonna have a ton left over, so I don't know what to do with that. I might just make another blanket for like my niece or something, because blues are her colours as well. Anyway, that is enough of that. I need to get tidied up and I want to get stitching while the boys are out of my hair. So yes, like I said, thank you for joining me and I hope you enjoyed that. And I'm going to get stitching. So thank you so much for commenting, liking and subscribing. I really appreciate it, and I really appreciate you joining me each video for my updates and my ramblings. So I hope you have a good 2 weeks and I hope you get lots of stitching in, and I hope I do too, and I'll see you next time. Bye.